Bonjour à tous, bienvenue sur cette nouvelle vidéo pour notre chaîne YouTube Haute Fidélité Saumur. Nous recevons aujourd'hui Andrew de chez Hegel. Bonjour Andrew.
Bonjour.
Donc cette vidéo sera essentiellement en anglais. Andrew ne parlant pas couramment français pour le moment, même s'il sait dire bonjour. So Andrew, thank you very much to come here in Saumur.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks. Could you tell us what is the brand of Hegel? What is its history?
Well, Hegel wasn't intended to be an audio manufacturer at all. Actually, it was a research company in the beginning. So our founder came up with some ideas during his studies for how you can make an amplifier different and better. And in the early 90s or end 80s, he got a big telecom company as an investor, who invested close to 3 million euros in developing his ideas into a patented amplifier design that they wanted to license out to the likes of Harman and Sony and all this. To put it lightly, that was not a great success. But Bent started making his own products. He has already sold some to friends and family and friends of friends, but he started to making his own products where he utilized this technology, the sound engine as we call it, and sell his own amplifiers that used it with all the dynamics and purity and low distortion. And as the telecom company eventually gave up the idea of licensing sound engine, Bent got to buy the patents and the technology and everything back and started Hegel as we see it today. This was around year 2000.
Okay.
So from there on, the sound engine is only used in our own amplifiers. And we just started building stone upon stone upon stone. And 22 years later, here we are.
So that's what's good news, that telecom didn't work.
Yes,
for
that's
us.
very good news.
Donc ils ont commencé par travailler dans les télécoms, dans une entreprise qui a travaillé pour d'autres sociétés, Sony et autres. Et finalement, cette société n'a pas fonctionné, mais tout ce qui était hardware a été racheté par le créateur. The creator of the brand is
Bent Holter.
Voilà.
And he's still the 100% full owner of Hegel.
Et c'est toujours le propriétaire à 99%, donc ça reste une entreprise familiale. Et donc il a racheté tous les droits pour créer ses propres amplis intégrés. Okay, and after you have got many products, or you can explain the different products of Hegel.
Yeah, well, the most important product for most of our dealers and financially also for us is the lineup of integrated amplifiers.
Okay.
So we have 3 examples on the table here. Altogether, it's 5 different models of integrated amplifiers. So the 2 ones on the front, the H95 and H190, belongs to our, or what we call the entry level of integrated amps. So if you take the lid off, they look very much the same inside. It's the same layout, everything is in the same proportion to one another. As you go up, you will see the size of everything growing, but you won't see much more. But that's because it is in many rough intentions the same. We call this the Hegel One Platform.
Okay.
Where there's one motherboard for anything analog, and then one digital and streaming board on the side. This allows us to make a very high performance amplifier for a somewhat limited budget. You could of course argue that is 3,600 euros a limited budget, but in some sense it is, if you look at all the other equipment you have here.
Thanks. So I'm going to translate a little bit. Alors, chez eux, la partie la plus importante, c'est les amplis intégrés. Donc dans ces amplis intégrés, c'est vrai que chez nous, c'est des couteaux suisses, on aime vraiment beaucoup. Donc il y a des entrées analogiques, il y a des entrées numériques, mais ça fait aussi lecteur réseau. Et dans cette famille-là, on va dire qu'ils vont séparer 2 familles. La famille avec le H95, le H120 et le H190, qui sont pour eux la famille des produits les plus abordables, où à chaque fois ça va être à peu près le même produit, mais qui va grossir un petit peu. une carte analogique et une carte numérique, mais on va dire que la méthode dont c'est fabriqué, c'est à peu près tout le temps pareil, en grossissant un petit peu. Et il va nous décrire maintenant la famille juste après, donc the family just after.
Well, the family just after begins with the H390, which sits in the back there, and his big brother, the H590. Because the limitation of the entry-level design is mainly two things. One is that you cannot get much bigger heat sinks than what you have in the H190, and that limits the amount of power. So in the H390 and 590, the heat sinks are separated to each side. It gives us much more space. And also, having everything on one motherboard limits how low noise floor we can get. Those are the two big things. So in the second level of amps, everything is separated.
Everything is separate.
Yeah.
À partir du 390 et le 590, donc qui est le grand frère, ils ont séparé vraiment les deux fois, ce qui nous permet en fait de réduire le bruit de fond et d'avoir vraiment plus de puissance. C'est pour ça qu'on a vraiment une grosse séparation entre le 190 et le 390.
But through all of them, one thing that I really want to press with Hegel is that we design everything in these amplifiers. It's not like we are good at making amplifiers and then we buy the DAC off the shelf from somewhere in China or elsewhere. Everything is designed ground up, including the H95, including the least expensive amplifier we have. We have built the clock in the DAC with separate components and oscillators. So everything is designed ground up.
D'accord. Alors, ce qui est très important par contre, c'est que dès son premier modèle, le H95 jusqu'au H590, tout est entièrement designé et produit chez Hegel. Ils n'achètent pas juste un chipset autre part, ils fabriquent vraiment leur chipset, ils fabriquent leur horloge, tout est entièrement fabriqué chez Hegel.
And I just want to add one more thing. One thing that is special, for example with the H95, where you are very much on the budget, competing with a lot of manufacturers. You have to be clever. And for example, in that, we have saved a lot of money and gained a lot of performance by using very special volume controls. The volume control is one of the most difficult things in an amplifier because it can very easily add both distortion and noise. And the good volume controls are very, very expensive. But in that one, and actually all the other ones integrated, we use a circuit that is not the volume control at all, but it's a circuit from high performance detectors, or very high precision detectors used at the CERN laboratory in Switzerland for the Large Hadron Collider. But we have reprogrammed those to work as a volume attenuator, which is extremely precise. But because it's not made for audio and dipped in sake and blessed by somebody, they don't cost as much money. But you find a whole lot of such small solutions that in themselves is not huge, but they create a product that gives you great value for the money, even if you go for an H95 or an H590.
So when you want to do precision, you don't do in your country. You go to Switzerland. That's what I have to translate.
Exactly. So, what time is it?
Ce qui est vraiment très important sur tous les produits, c'est apparemment la difficulté, c'est sur le bouton de volume. Et ils ont vraiment pris quelque chose qu'ils ont récupéré de Suisse, où ils ont entièrement reprogrammé pour avoir vraiment quelque chose de très précis, qui apporte très peu de distorsion et qui est utilisé dès le H95 jusqu'au H590. Et donc, tout ce qui a besoin de précision, ils vont le chercher en Suisse parce que dans leur pays, ils ne savent pas le faire. Non, it's okay. Ok. Une question qui... on va rester encore sur les produits. Après, donc on a parlé des intégrés. Vous avez d'autres produits, des préamplis, des amplis de puissance et un préampli phono, je crois. After the integrate, you have got other product.
Yep.
Preamp.
Yes. 2 preamplifiers analog and 2 power amplifiers analog. And then the newest product in the family is the little baby phono preamp.
Phono stage, yes. also for home cinema.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, we have the power amplifiers for
The
home
power.
cinema.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you going to do a pre-amp for home cinema?
No.
No.
That's
Okay.
one of the few promises I'll give you.
Oh, okay. And why did you do a funnel stage? Because for me, you were very, very good for network, digital converter. I didn't understand when you give a funnel stage.
Yeah, it's a good question. No, it's dealers have asked us for a funnel stage for a very long time. And our owner always said, who has the final word in this, obviously, that no. There are so many good funnel stages out there. It's so old technology, there's no reason. And also it's easy. It's boring to make a funnel stage. But eventually, one of our big customers convinced him that we should have a funnel stage. It doesn't need to be fancy or very expensive. And our founder says, okay, I'll make a funnel stage. And then he said, I practically had one finished in my drawer, and he took it out. But then he got sucked into it, and he was lost to us for half a year, where he said he had not had so much fun developing audio product for years as he did with a V10. And it ended up with a product that was not as inexpensive as intended. It's 1,500 euros. But it is insanely good, and it's also made from absolute scratch. We built our own type of transformer, even in the little power supply, and it's taken to the extremes for being that price range. So, and it won the ISA award on the first try.
Okay, so if I am a good seller, you can make me a turntable.
Yes, you have to be very good though.
Okay, sorry, we won't have a turntable with Hegel. Donc ils ont sorti aussi un préampli phono. J'ai posé la question parce que pour moi ils étaient vraiment très doués sur tout ce qui était lecteur réseau et digital. Je comprenais pas trop pourquoi ils avaient sorti un préampli phono, et apparemment un de leurs gros revendeurs voulait absolument un préampli phono Hegel, et au final ils avaient déjà des schémas, des choses qui étaient prêts, et ils ont sorti un très très bon préampli phono, un rapport qui a été pris vraiment exceptionnel. Une question que beaucoup de clients me posent, c'est pourquoi vous n'avez pas d'application pour le réseau propre à Hegel. Many customers ask me why you don't have got your apps to control your product, to put your music on network.
Yeah, that's an excellent question.
Thanks. So.
Yeah, no, it was discussed a lot. It's brought up every now and then still, but it was discussed a lot internally some years ago. But our conclusion was that we didn't think we should make something or try to make something that we're not particularly good at. So we have 2 software engineers working full-time at Hegel, but they're not super good at making applications. So we would rather spend some of our energy trying to allow our products to work with whatever third-party app you have. I mean, if that app comes from Apple or Spotify or Tidal or Caboose or M-Connect or Rune, we want to try and get all of those to work optimally with the Hegel.
You are not the only one.
No, I don't think we're the only one, but it's very understandable to me that when you buy, a piece of like this, you want to come home, take up your phone, download the app and start playing. But on the other hand, I think you'll very often experience that this app you downloaded, it says your brand name on it, but it's not very good. So you end up using a third-party app anyway. So we think it's a waste of money. If we spend 150,000 euros on that, and we sell X amount of amplifiers every year, we have to divide that money on the number of amplifiers and maybe employ an extra engineer just to maintain the app. So it'll cost you money, and you can rather just spend 10 euros on M-Connect.
Donc en fait, ils ne sont pas spécialisés dans la création d'applications. Pour eux, ils préfèrent payer un ingénieur qui va améliorer la conversion, améliorer les produits qui sont à l'intérieur, mais payer quelqu'un qui va fabriquer une application qu'il va falloir mettre à jour à chaque fois qu'il y a quelque chose de nouveau qui va sortir. Pour eux, ce n'est pas quelque chose de rentable. Ils vont perdre de l'argent. Aujourd'hui, c'est vrai qu'on a beaucoup d'applications qui existent, M-Connect et aussi les services de musique en ligne ont déjà leur propre application et ils n'ont pas vu l'intérêt spécialement d'avoir leur propre application, mis à part que le client, au final, puisse télécharger directement et sur son téléphone voir Hegel Apps. Mais derrière, si cette application n'est pas bonne, à la limite, ça ne sert pas à grand chose. Autant télécharger un lecteur ou une application compatible UPnP, parce que tous les produits sont compatibles UPnP, et dans ce cas-là, ça pose aucun souci. Donc pour moi, il y a d'autres marques qui le font de la même manière. On peut prendre Metner par exemple, qui fait exactement la même chose. Pour moi, ce n'est pas rédhibitoire du tout. Autre chose de très important pour nos clients, c'est donc la garantie et le service après-vente, parce qu'on a beaucoup de marques qui, une fois la période de garantie ou quelques temps derrière, on n'a plus de pièces détachées. Donc, quelle est la stratégie de Hegel là-dessus? About warranties, your product is 2 years of warranties, but after 2 years, your product is dead, or you have many components in stock to
just throw it and buy something new. No,
it's good for me.
No, we take that very seriously, because I mean, if you look at your future as a manufacturer, you could either hope that you made something that's insanely popular and you'll make a lot of money in 2-3 years before the air goes out of the balloon.
Okay.
And you realize that it can't be fixed and it always breaks down. Or you can think that we are here now and we want to slowly grow and be a little bit bigger in 20 years than we are now. So if you want to choose that path, you need to make certain that you can take care of the people who has invested their hard-earned money in buying one of these things. 3,600 euros, 1,600 euros, 5,000 euros, it's not pocket money for any of us. So if you buy that, you need to trust that we can fix it. And this far, except for one small DAC a few years ago, everything can be fixed today. And even that DAC we can't easily fix will help you with that too. But it can all be fixed, even if it's 20 years old.
Donc non, il n'y a pas comment on va dire, d'extrusion programmée ou de fin de vie programmée sur leurs produits, bien au contraire. Pour eux, quelqu'un qui achète un produit Hegel, c'est pas des petites sommes. On commence à pratiquement 2 000 euros, on est à 1 700 euros et derrière on monte très très vite. Donc pour eux, un client qui a mis autant d'argent, il faut que ce client soit satisfait pendant des années. Donc sur la plupart des composants, ils font énormément de stock pour que votre produit soit réparable pendant des années. Donc ça, c'est vraiment un très très bon point. C'est-à-dire que si vous achetez un H390 et que dans 6 ans, il y a quelque chose qui tombe en panne, parce que tous les produits peuvent tomber en panne, ils auront des pièces pour réparer votre produit. Ça, ce n'est pas le cas de toutes les marques, donc on peut les saluer et lui dire que c'est du très très bon travail. Okay, now we are going to talk about new product. No, you will stop. We don't. Can you give up some information or not?
Yeah. Well, normally we keep things very tight to the chest.
Okay.
One of the reasons for this is that we don't have a 5-year roadmap of products we're going to make, and all our projects they keep developing all the way to the very end. But I'll reveal one secret. And it's that the next product you'll probably see from Hegel, and hopefully we will launch it at Munich, maybe you will even be there.
How?
Yeah, will be a replacement for our reference P30 preamplifier and reference H30 power amplifier.
Okay.
So we are just in the final stages of that as we speak, and COVID and everything permitting, we hope to have those on the market in the fall when you come back from your holidays. And,
Holidays? What is it? It's for the people who work. We never work here. We always listen to music and watch films.
So
it's
you're
not work.
always on holiday?
Yes, always.
Okay, so when some people are back from their holiday,
Okay.
we hope to have something in the shops, but
Okay.
we also hope to be able to show this
On
in
Munich.
Munich. Yeah.
Ok. Donc au niveau des nouveaux produits, ils ne veulent absolument rien dire. Et pour ceux qui ne parlent pas anglais, tant pis pour eux. Non, on va vous expliquer un petit peu. En fait, il prévoit peut-être à Munich, en fonction en fait, de la disponibilité des produits, de sortir peut-être des nouveaux préamplis et des amplis de puissance qui sont, je pense, leurs plus vieux produits au catalogue. I think it's the oldest product on your catalog at this moment, the preamp and the amp. Oui. Donc c'est les produits les plus anciens qui devraient être remplacés. Maintenant, ce qui ne veut en aucun cas dire qu'ils vont être obsolètes, hein, parce que ce sont toujours de très 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 bons produits. Donc n'hésitez pas à continuer à acheter en neuf ou en occasion, parce que même si vous achetez en occasion sur les sites en ligne, il n'y a aucun problème, car ils seront toujours réparables. Écoutez, je pense qu'on a à peu près fait le tour avec Hegel. N'hésitez pas à nous appeler si vous voulez écouter tous ces produits, on les a tous en magasin. Et puis merci beaucoup de nous avoir suivis. N'hésitez pas à liker, à mettre des pouces. Et puis à très bientôt. Au revoir.
Au revoir.